TIFU by refusing to give tea to a Chinese senator. S. I got a job at a fine dining sushi restaurant as what I hoped would be a casual summer job. Today in particular we closed at 10 p.m, however this one particular table was still sitting around at 10:45 p.m. with no intentions to leave soon, and I just wanted to go home. Well, this table asked for a tea refill and I said that we washed the teapot and I can give hot water instead. Well, the guy sitting there got really pissed off at that and started telling me off in English, Japanese, and Chinese to really make sure I understood that I am wrong. The whole table was moderately drunk and I was pretty tired from working 10 hours, so I just said I understand and walked away. I even made tea after and gave it to him anyways, even though the teapot was already washed. I guess he never gets told no though, because he made the owner of the restaurant come to the table and bow and apologize. The restaurant owner told the senator guy that this is his greatest shame in 20 years opening this restaurant and even bowed on his knees. I honestly wasn't about to bow and sincerely apologize over this because he was being so rude to me, so I made a half-assed apology and said I'm sorry you feel this way. This guy then proceeds to throw around our server trays and keep telling me off. He already paid the bill, so he just left after. I didn't know that he was some millionaire Chinese senator come to the restaurant a couple times a year. The other servers told me later all this and that he's always very drunk and rude, but because he is so powerful and rich they just deal with it. TLDR, I didn't give a powerful politician customer tea the first time he asked, and he threw a temper tantrum.
Emo, the owner should have given staff a heads up about this guy and asked for volunteers to stay and cater to VI passhole for extra pay. This particular customer does not make up a large or even small percentage of revenue. Couple facts. These won't be all-encompassing, but they should help you reach the right conclusion. The only Asian American senators at the time of writing are women. The only Asian Canadian male senator I could find at the time of writing is not Chinese. This one's most relevant because it's where Op is from. Current Asian Australian senators are either not male or not Chinese. China itself does not have senators. The Japanese man in this story does not treat honor like a Japanese man, he treats it like a South Park character. The legacy of Bushido did not turn grown men into groveling toads every time they run out of tea. Way over the top. Nobody who would write a blatantly racist piece of fiction like this could likely tell if they were being yelled at in Chinese or Japanese. Even Ops server job is sus. Almost every server I've ever met or worked with would have asked about refills before cleaning the pot. Many of them would also gently and politely mention washing the pot if the customers are done, as it's the best way to hint at it being past closing without being direct about it. None of them would say, well, I can't make you tea, but I can give you some regular old hot water. I can't believe the number of servers in these comments who didn't catch this. I have to give the op credit, though. Their cartoonish racism still managed to gain sympathies from the more woke people out there simply by having a food service worker yelled at by a millionaire. The alt-right might want to keep that little trick up their sleeves.
TIFU when I thought I won over a difficult exec and then insulted him. I've been at this job for almost 5 months. Great job with a really good and well-known company. I'm an HRBP director, so as usual I have to spend a great deal of time building relationships, showing value, demonstrating I know how businesses work while onboarding. I was assigned to the marketing and data businesses. I have 7 execs altogether, 3 SVPs and 4 VPs. Most of them are really great and I've been able to get some good headway with them, and they are involving me, and I'm watching the trust build naturally as I learn their orgs and start to build talent strategies and workforce modeling plans, but there is one I just clash with. Let's call him Andy. From the start Andy treated me more like a dumping ground waiter instead of a business partner. In our first meeting it was basically all of our employees are underpaid and you need to fix that, and just this general condescending you aren't worth my time attitude. We got into a heated debate 2 months in because he wanted to change all of his employees to managers in title only as a way to employ them. I explained how this idea may not be wise as it's not true promotions and the title of manager had a distinct meaning at this company and doing this was a fake way to develop people. He discovered he had the ability to change people's external titles through Workday and sent me the list of his employees asking me to update their titles to manager and help him come up with a comms plan. He didn't like my disagreeing with him and escalated it to my boss and his boss. To be fair, he wasn't a jerk about it, just asked for their opinion. Both were on my side, and my boss encouraged me to work with him on a better org design and how to really develop his people, but ever since then he's just been really cold and dismissive and seems to take an almost childish delight when I don't know something or make a mistake. I discovered some interesting metrics in his attrition, and during my last one-on-one with him showed him what I found. I could tell he was impressed, and for the first time we had a really good conversation. He decided to show me one of his plans for an org on his computer, and our one-on-one went 30 minutes over from a great convo. At the end of the meeting he closed the PPT and I could see his screensaver, a picture of his wife and children in the snow together. One older daughter, maybe 13, and a younger son, maybe 8. I commented that it was a great picture, and like any proud dad, he beamed and told me about the ski trip. I said his daughter looked like a professional skier and complimented the photo. There was a few beats of complete silence and then a cold, that's my son. He just has long hair. 1 step forward, 10 steps back. TL/DR in a meeting with a difficult exec. I thought I made progress until I referred to his son as a daughter. That sucks, but that's nothing. I once mistook a guy's wife as his son in a picture on his desk. It's an honest mistake. This guy just sounds really prickly, which is his problem, not yours.
TIFU by losing a 60K/year job offer by sending the boss a GIF of George Costanza from Seinfeld. About a month ago I left my job managing a kitchen because of the restaurant owner's abusive, gaslighting behavior. I was making $17 per hour, not bad for how easy the job was. Upon leaving and starting my job hunt online, I quickly realized how great my resume was, or how desperate restaurants are for skilled employees, when I began to receive offers from 40-50K to run operations at several higher-end places around the city. Where I live, that is a very decent paycheck and can buy a comfortable lifestyle, much more than I've ever made in my 30 years on this earth. Needless to say, it felt good to be able to turn down a few offers and explore the higher-paying ones. I receive a text one day from the owner of a nice place in town, asking if I can interview that day. I tell him of course, noon sounds good, looking forward to meeting you, blah blah blah. At 11:30 a.m. I accept a job offer from someone else for 40K a year managing new spot in town. Not wanting to burn bridges, I shoot the noon interviewer a text explaining that I had just accepted an offer and thanking him for his consideration. His reply stopped me dead in my tracks. That's a shame. Needed someone to manage our kitchen, starts 60K with benefits. I nearly shat myself. Nobody has ever offered me that much to do what I do. Our previous exchanges seemed friendly enough, and he seemed like a seasoned kitchen guy himself, so I figured a little humor couldn't hurt. I found a GIF of George Costanza from Seinfeld turning his head around and raising his eyebrows in a "you said how much?" kind of way. However, the universe has its own sense of humor. Upon pressing send, feeling very pleased with myself, I instantly knew I had a major FU on my hands. The GIF didn't move. It was frozen due to my inability to wait for it to fully load before saving it onto my phone. He received a picture of George Costanza just standing there facing away from the camera. No context, no explanation, just the image of George standing there with his back turned. 10 minutes go by. I make the bold decision to break silence first, and not acknowledge the image at all. My sweaty fingers type out, "I can be there by 2?" To which he says, "I'm pretty busy today." I tell my friends about it later and they are choking laughing at the screenshot I saved of this absolute roller coaster of stupidity. I did not get the job. I did get similar offer for a better fitting position a few days later at a very nice establishment close by, and I love my job. But the screenshot lives on for laughs and I think about it at least once a day still. TL/DR I ruined all chances at a high-paying job by sending the boss a broken GIF of George Costanza, which ended up just being a still image of him facing away from the camera, making things very awkward indeed. The real FU was accepting a job offer at 11:30 a.m. when you had another interview lined up at noon. That, or not just going to the noon interview, even after accepting the first offer. And communicating with a prospective boss via GIFs instead of, words. I love a good GIF. Most bosses have personalities too, Maybe when you've already been working there for a bit and get a feel for how the boss is. During/before the interview stage? I would never. Even if the guy had a good sense of humor, It's extremely unprofessional. Bro, why did you just leave it at that for 10 minutes without saying anything if you realized you sent it right away? All you had to do is say, whoops, sorry, not sure why that sent. It sometimes happens to me, I just go with sorry, fat fingers, didn't mean to send that. Yeah, I say. Sorry, I'm hung like a horse, didn't have enough blood flowing to my brain just then, tee-hee. Why would you accept a position at 11:30 if you had an interview at noon? Especially if it was for 40k, when you were already getting offers for 40-50k. You didn't think it might be worth waiting for 3 more hours? You can't tell the company, I will decide by Thursday? I mean, if they really want you, it's not like they can't wait 2 more days.